Luckily, though, we have a legend in the Los Angeles legal universe to show us where this case might go from here. Carl Douglas is a renowned defense attorney in California, founding partner of the firm that bears his name and former member of O.J. Simpson's dream team. Mr. Douglas, thank you so much for coming back to the program. It's good to see you. Let's just start with the burning question. Pardon the pun. 12 people died, Carl Douglas, and all we have is this federal charge of setting fire to buildings.
Well, Ashleigh, first of all, thank you for having me on your show again. But this is only the first day after these charges have been filed. Nathan Hochman still has a lot of investigation to do to connect Mr. Rinderknecht's connection to the Lockman fire with the Palisades fire that started a full 6 days later. And that's going to be the challenge, I am sure. Murder cases are state charges generally, not federal charges. So it explains why the feds didn't choose to bring these charges themselves. But there's going to be a scientific battle between experts connecting what was clearly the Lockman fire and Mr. Rinderknecht's involvement in that fire. And I'll tell you, they have him 64 different ways, but to connect that with the start of the Palisades fire, I think is going to be the true challenge for the prosecution in that eventual case.
So are you saying that it's a causation issue, meaning maybe he started the Lockman fire, but the fact that the roots kept burning and started the Palisades fire is just, you know, a bridge too far?
That is one speculation as to the cause. They now believe that the Palisades fire is what's called a holdover fire. That is, the Lockman fire was put out quite quickly, and in fact, the fire department left their hoses there in the area because oftentimes embers burn and simmer under roots. And the next day they came back and checked the area, and they were convinced that the fire had been fully put out, and so they took all of their equipment away from that area. That was on January the 2nd. It was a full 5.5 days later, in the morning of January the 7th, that cameras first saw evidence of the fire in Palisades. The experts say it was caused by unprecedented winds that whipped through the hillside. But that causation, that connection is going to be a fierce source of contest between the prosecution and lawyers for the defense.
I am no lawyer, and I am certainly not a member of OJ's dream team, which is, you know, legendary, but I always hear the terms "but for," meaning but for the actions of whomever started the Lockman fire, the Palisades fire would not have the spark. Isn't that powerful?
That is powerful if it can be proven, and that's the rub. There is analysis that seeks to exclude, for example, a cigarette, that seeks to exclude lightning because there had been no evidence of lightning for 30 days within a 20-mile radius of where the Palisades fire started. However, the Lockman fire was supposed to have been put out. There were no embers burning. There was no smoke. There was nothing to suggest that anything was still burning under the root system. So there's going to be a significant challenge trying to prove that the roots continued to smolder, and that led to the eventual fire that destroyed 6,800 different properties.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.